We have had many panel discussions in this auditorium to highlight climate change and renewable energies. We agreed that with the support of the Human Impacts Institute, we should try a new approach to this issue, a salon, a format which merges conversation, performance, and inspiration.
Global warming. Some say irreversible consequences are 30 years away. 30 years? That won't affect me.
If we take it seriously that climate change is happening and that we can do anything against it, we have to completely change our energy supply.
So we've had wonderful success with people signing up for their own residence. We've also signed up the Empire State Building and Lincoln Center to support renewable energy through their electric bills. So
there are people who are specifically benefiting from the way that our energy systems are set up, and that there's a lot of people, like the majority of the planet, who aren't.
The business sector, part of what's so important about the work of groups like Green Mountain and others is that these are all entry points into the movement. And the more that there are things for people to do, the more that there are avenues for them to actually get involved and to participate. And then you sort of wrap up all this action with a narrative about the movement. You know, this is a big change. There are some bad guys, there are some good guys.
Getting people to sort of redefine their own stories about what climate change means. What differs about a movement from sort of like an organization or a marketing strategy or a communication strategy is that a movement tries to transform people and transform the way that they think about themselves in the world and their identity. And one of the really powerful ways to do that is by bringing people together and making them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
Do our choices matter, and why do they matter?
Starting a conversation.
Connecting yourself to something larger.
A righteous, not a self-righteous, but a righteous sense of indignation at what's going on.
Pulling someone in with an image that they don't expect or don't know what to do with it, or it's in an unusual place. I love performing in public because I think galleries and performance art spaces, people self-select to go there, but in public, you're just there, and then all kinds of people are going to see and wonder at the performance.
There's this marketing angle which is really critical. It's sort of the carrot, right? It's like you put a carrot in front of somebody and they're gonna think about what you sort of want them to think about in their own way. Cultivating that sense of righteous indignation about climate and about who's responsible for it and who can solve it, and really tying that to a sense of justice.
There was once a land where the weather was very, very strange. There were awful heat waves in some parts, and in others terrible storms and floods. Scientists said it was being caused by too much CO2, which went up into the sky when the grown-ups used energy. They said the CO2 was getting dangerous. Its effects were happening faster than they had thought. Some places could even disappear under the sea, and it was the children of the land who'd have to live with the horrible consequences. The grown-ups realized they had to do something. They discovered that over 40% of the CO2 was coming from ordinary everyday things like keeping houses warm and driving cars, which meant if they made less CO2, maybe they could save the land for the children.
Is there a happy ending?
It's up to us how the story ends.